Shah, who is the Senior Program Officer for Ethiopia at Freedom House. Prior to his position at Freedom House, he was the Secretary General of the Ethiopian Human Rights Council, Ethiopia's foremost human rights organization. Mr. Badwaza fled Ethiopia in 2009 when government attacks on the Ethiopian Human Rights Council became more persistent. When he arrived in the U.S., Mr. Badwaza continued his advocacy for human rights protection and good governance. In 2010, he received the Alison Deforge Award from Human Rights Watch for his activism. Mr. Badwaza has an LLB from Addis Ababa University and LLM in Human Rights from the University of Pretoria in South Africa. We will now begin. Yes. Put on your microphone, please. Thank you.
Chairman Smith, Ranking Member Bass, and distinguished member of the committee, thank you for the opportunity to testify on the situation in Ethiopia. I would like to open my testimony first by thanking my representative, the Honorable Mike Kaufman from Colorado District 6, for his support to the Ethiopian American constituents in his district and for giving us the forum to voice our concern about current developments in Ethiopia. I also would like to recognize the active participation of all Ethiopians from all walks of life in advocating the passage of H.R. 128. H.R. 128 was passed on April 10, 2018, and in the same month, the long-lived struggles of the Ethiopian people resulted in disintegration of the EPRDF from within. The former Prime Minister was unable to control the situation even after declaring the state of emergency and resigned. Following that, a new, vibrant Prime Minister was appointed. I give full credit to Dr. Abiy Ahmed, Lamma Magarsa, Gaddu Andargacho, and Dammaqe Mokonnin for their extraordinary work in transforming Ethiopia from a looming ethnic-based civil war into unprecedented of civil peace. Ethiopia is undergoing peaceful changes unlike any that has been seen in its long history. After 27 years of dictatorial rule, Ethiopians, for the first time, are now seeing the dawn of a new day in which they are regaining hope and confidence in their future. Over the past 6 months, we have seen things none of us expected in our wildest imagination. To put some examples, the state of emergency was lifted, many political prisoners were released. Ethiopians who were denied entry into Ethiopia are now receiving a hero's welcome. Peace was finally achieved with neighboring Eritrea. The phone service and flights are reinstated. They are also working hard to reconnect the countries through the 5 roads. Some of the roads that were heavily mined are now being repaired for commercial use between the 2 countries. The government has made a significant stride towards the market economy and even offered to partially privatize some of the government-owned businesses. Ethiopian Airlines and Ethiopian Telecom are the 2 biggest that are slated for privatization. The press is operating without being muzzled by the government, and independent media networks are allowed to work from Ethiopia. With all the changes happening there are some worrying events. All over the country, nearly 2 million people have been forced out their homes to escape violence, particularly Oromos from the Ethiopian-Somali region, Gedios from Oromia, Walaitas from South region, and Amharas from Benishangul Gumuz. Most of them are women, children, and the elderly. The attempt to take the life of the new Prime Minister at a public support rally in Addis Ababa this June has yet to be resolved, in spite of help from FBI investigator from USA. There were highly publicized cases of mob justice in Shashamane, in Oromia, and Bure in Amara regions. The terror unleashed in Jijiga, the capital of the Ethiopia-Somalia region, where 6 churches were burned down, priests were killed, and people labeled as Highlanders were viciously murdered in public squares. All these signs, I believe, show the weakness in the institution that safeguard law and order, human rights, and democracy. The last 27 years, the EPRDF has weakened the institutions to be subservient to it. The US can help strengthen the institution by providing resources for capacity building of the Human Rights Commission, the Election Commission, and the Broadcast Authority as independent, competent, and credible institutions. We would like the USA to urge the Ethiopian government to create an independent commission to conduct a full, credible, and transparent investigation into the killings, detention, torture, and instance of excessive use of force by security forces, and hold accountable security forces accused of such actions through public proceeding, and to publicly release written findings from such an investigation. Organize an independent commission that oversees the recognition of the Human Rights Commission, the Election Commission, and the Broadcast Authority to be independent institutions. Conduct full, credible, and transparent investigation into the recent ethnic violence that led to loss of life and displacement of a large number of Ethiopians, including those that targeted Amharas in Benshangul, Oromo in Somali region, Gedios in Oromia region, and Walaitas in Southern region, and hold accountable those responsible for these human rights violations. And to call for an open, constructive dialogue with all the opposition forces, both at home and abroad, armed and peaceful, in order to chart the country's future together. I know, Mr. Chairman, under your leadership, your committee and this House will do its part for well-being of the Ethiopian people. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, for the opportunity to appear before you today. I stand ready to answer any question you might have.
Thank you so very, very much. Mr. Said.